Hello friends, welcome back to another vibrant episode of Manju's Testimony. Today in this video I am going to talk about writing. I will try to make you understand how to find out a mistake in letters and how to write a letter without a mistake. Okay, I have collected some sentences from letters and I will read for you the letters. First sentence is, I'm writing to refer Mrs. Alison Martin, who requires a mental status assessment and further management owing to probable diagnosis of schizophrenia. This sentence seems good, right? And we cannot easily find out a mistake from this sentence. But here we have a major mistake. If you can find out the mistake, comment right now. Let's find out the mistakes. Now, here we have used the article A before the mental status assessment, right? Actually, this mental status assessment is considered as an uncountable noun. So we cannot use any article like A or an in front of the uncountable nouns. So just remove A from mental status assessment. And the sentence gonna be like, I'm writing to refer Mrs. Alison Martin, who requires mental status assessment and further management owing to probable diagnosis of schizophrenia. This is the right way of writing the sentence. Okay, let's move on to the second sentence. Mrs. Martin has been under our care for 10 years. There is no mistake in this sentence. I just use the sentence to make you understand why the sentence use has been there. Whenever we use has been, it is usually come with the time period, right? I have been working at Hamad Medical Corporation for the last 6 years. So here has been comes to denote a period of time. So that's why in this sentence they have used for 10 years. We cannot use simple present tense like Mrs. Martin is under our care for 10 years. No, because 10 years is something has been started in the past and it is still continuing. So that's why they have used has been here. So the right sentence is Mrs. Martin has been under our care for 10 years. The sentence is absolutely right. I just use the sentence to make you understand why this has come there. Okay, so let's move on to the third sentence. In addition, she was not able to enjoy her work and feeling unmotivated. Did you see any mistakes here in this sentence? She was not able to enjoy her work. She was not able to enjoy her work. We can simply rephrase this sentence like this way. She was unable to enjoy her work. So try to use she was unable to. She was not able to means she was unable to. There is no mistake here, but we can rephrase in another way like she was unable to enjoy her work. I would like to remind you one thing also. When you use in addition, there is a space in between in and addition. In space addition. Okay, so shall we move on to the next sentence? Okay, on her follow-up visit on 20 January 2010, comma, Mrs. Martin informed that she has poor concentration and attention. On her follow-up visit on 21 2010, please note that this letter is writing on 24th of January. Okay, so we are talking here about the day before the day of writing the letter. On her follow-up visit on 21 2010, Mrs. Martin informed that she has poor concentration. So on 20th, when she came for the appointment, she informed about poor concentration and attention. So here in the sentence they have used Mrs. Martin informed that she has poor concentration and attention. Has is used in the present tense. Present as is used to denote a possession in the present tense. But here we have mentioning about the 20th of January and the letter is writing on 24th. Martin's appointment is already finished. So we cannot use has here. We have to use the past form of possession has. It is had. So she had poor concentration and attention. Okay, on her follow-up visit on 20 January 2010, Mrs. Martin informed that she had poor concentration and attention, because this sentence is mentioning about the things that has happened in the past. Okay, so let's move on to the fifth sentence. She is being transferred to your facility through an ambulance. She is being transferred to your facility through an ambulance. See, we cannot use through here because whenever we use a vehicle, transportation vehicle, we have to use by an ambulance. Okay, she is being transferred to your facility by an ambulance. So that was the mistake here in the sentence. Let's move on to the next sentence. Single dose of Normison and 2 Panadol were given. Single dose of Normison and 2 Panadol were given. So here 2 Panadol is a wrong usage and we have to use single dose of Normison and 2 tablets of Panadols. 2 tablets of Panadols were given. This is the right way of writing the sentence. Okay. So next sentence is, she is incontinent and uses incontinent pad. She is incontinent and uses incontinent pad. A redundancy can be noticed in the sentence, like incontinent is repeating. So if she is using incontinent pad, that means that she is definitely incontinent. So no need to say it again. We can simply say she uses incontinent pad. There is an implied meaning that she is incontinent already. Okay, so no need to tell she is incontinent and uses incontinent pad. Instead we can use she uses incontinent pad. So next sentence is, he is getting metformin 500 mg, 3 times in a day. This sentence looks absolutely normal, but the problem here is in a day. He is getting metformin 500 mg 3 times in a day. No need to use the preposition in there. We can simply say he is getting metformin 500 mg 3 times a day. 3 times a day. Okay. No need to put in there. So let's move on to the 9th sentence. He has hypertension also, for which he is receiving Ramipril 5 mg daily. What is the mistake here in this sentence? This sentence is writing in the present continuous tense. He is receiving Ramipril. We can simply use the sentence like, he has hypertension also, for which he is on Ramipril 5 mg daily. Whenever we need to mention about a medication, it is better to write on. If they are taking usually this medication, we can write he is on Ramipril, he is on risperidone, he is on antihypertensives. Okay. So let's move on to the next sentence. It would be appreciated if you provide continuous monitoring for Mr. Dunbar. This is a very important sentence. We cannot see any mistake here. It would be appreciated if you provide continuous monitoring for Mr. Dunbar. I was also confused when my tutor told me that this sentence is not writing in this way. Here the problem is with the word continuous. We cannot use continuous there. We need to use continuing. It would be appreciated if you provide continuing monitoring for Mr. Dunbar. I will explain you why it is like that. Continuous means something is continuing, right? So what is the difference between continuous and continuing? Continuous means if a care is continuing for a period of time, we can use continuous monitoring. But if a care has been stopped there and we are referring this patient to further facility, and there after a gap, there is a gap happened, right? After a gap, they need to continue another follow-up management there, right? So there is a gap happened in between the care provided by the primary care hospital, and there is a period of gap, and the patient is referred to the another facility and they have to start the follow-up management. So in this case, we have to use continuing. So continuing is commonly used when there is a gap in the process, and continuous is using when a process is continuing, still continuing. Okay. So the sentence would be like this. It would be appreciated if you provide continuing monitoring for Mr. Dunbar. Okay. Next sentence is, she was advised to continue chest physiotherapy. We all know, we have heard about many such mistakes. Advice. If advice comes as a noun, we have to use CE. ADVICE. But if advice is using like a verb, then we have to use advised. ADVISE. There are so many words like this. You can search in the Google to get such type of words, or if you want, I will create a short video for such words. Okay. So next sentence is, she smokes and consumes alcohol in excess for the last 20 years. Before we have seen a sentence like this. If a time period is mentioned there, we cannot use simple present tense. We have to use present perfect tense. She smokes. She smokes means she has a habit of smoking. She smokes and consumes alcohol in excess for the last 20 years. She has been consuming alcohol for the last 20 years. We have to use the present perfect continuous tense. Okay, that's why this sentence is wrong. She has been consuming alcohol for the last 20 years. She started before and it's now been 20 years. So we cannot use she smokes and consumes. Consumes comes with the 20 years. So we have to write in the present perfect continuous tense. She has been consuming alcohol. She smokes is okay. She smokes is right because no time period mentioned there, but 20 years is mentioning about the alcohol. So she has been consuming alcohol for the last 20 years. I'm just reminding you the tense form. Present perfect tense is has or have plus V3 and present perfect continuous tense is has or have plus been plus ing. Okay. So let's move on to the next sentence. I'm writing to request an urgent assessment. It's simple to find out the mistake, right? Before also I told you about assessment is an uncountable noun. So here I am writing to request, no need to put any article like a or an. It is I am writing to request urgent assessment. Just how to write like I am writing to request urgent assessment because urgent assessment is an uncountable noun. So let's move on to the next sentence. Ventolin nebules 5 mg was administered. This sentence is okay, but we can write in a better way in passive tense. She was nebulized with Ventolin. Instead of starting with the Ventolin, we have to give importance or stress to the patient rather than Ventolin. Okay, the patient is taking the medication. Instead of using Ventolin nebules 5 mg was administered, she was nebulized with Ventolin. Okay. So let's move on to the next sentence. Mrs. Covile has the history of asthma, hypertension and depression for which she is on Ramipril 25 mg, Paroxetine 20 mg and fluticasone 250, 2 puffs daily. So here the mistake is the sentence mentioned that Mrs. Covile has the history of asthma, hypertension and depression for which she is on. She is on. So that means in the present. She is taking these medications in the present. Okay. So Mrs. Covile, so no need to write like this is a history. The patient has now the problem. So just has to write has. Mrs. Covile has asthma, hypertension and depression for which she is on Ramipril 25 mg, blah blah blah. Okay, this is not a history. The patient still has the problem and the patient is currently on medication. So we cannot use it as a history. History means the patient had developed something in the past and nothing is there in the present moment. Okay, but if the condition is present, that should be mentioned in the present tense or present perfect tense. Here we can use the simple present tense. Mrs. Covile has asthma, hypertension, depression. Has means it is not like a present perfect tense. The present perfect tense is has or have plus V3. Here the has comes like a possession. I have a pen. She has a pen. Okay, they have a pen. Okay, so in that sense here has used as in the simple present tense. Okay, so let's move on to the 16th sentence. Miss Nutt was diagnosed with breast cancer 20 years ago and she underwent right total mastectomy and she did not receive any medical follow-up. Here Mrs. Nutt was diagnosed with the breast cancer 20 years ago and she underwent. No need to mention she again. Mrs. Nutt, we already mentioned Mrs. Nutt and we started the sentence like Mrs. Nutt was diagnosed with the breast cancer 20 years ago and underwent. Just to write like a and underwent, because the subject is already there. No need to write the subject again after and. So 20 years ago, and underwent right total mastectomy, and she did not receive any medical follow-ups. Already we have used one and. Again, here in the sentence, again they used and. So this is a redundancy. We have to avoid redundancy or repetition in the letter, because the examiner will, if we repeat the words, the examiner will think that we don't have enough vocabulary. So how can we write this letter? Mrs. Nutt was diagnosed with breast cancer 20 years ago and underwent right total mastectomy, but she did not receive any medical follow-up. Just put a comma before but and just write like but she did not receive any medical follow-up. Okay. So move on to next sentence. Kindly ensure safe environment for the baby and report the Department of Community Services if risk present. Kindly ensure safe environment for the baby. Safe environment is a countable noun, so we have to use the article A here. Kindly ensure a safe environment for the baby and report the department. Instead of writing report the department, we can use update, okay, and update to the Department of Community Services if risk present. Update. So let's move on to the next question. Information given to the Department of Service regarding her. Regarding her something. Okay. This sentence is very, very, very wrong. Can you find out the mistake here? Information given to the department means the information given. This information is act like a subject here. Information is not like a subject, right? Information was given. Information was given. Information is something given by a person or a department or a human subject. So it should be written in the passive form. So information we have to use was given. Information was given to the Department of Human Service regarding her health condition. So the next sentence, in view of the above, it would be appreciated if you contact the close family members and friends of Mrs. Geisha to inform them to seek medical help immediately. It looks absolutely normal, but the problem here is close family members and friends of Mrs. Geisha to inform them, not to inform them, and inform them to seek medical help immediately. So the sentence will be like this. In view of the above, it would be appreciated if you contact the close family members and friends of Mrs. Geisha and inform them to seek medical help immediately. So first we have to contact the family members and friends, and then we have to inform them to seek medical help immediately. The preposition is not to, it is and. So the next sentence is, I am writing to refer Mrs. Maria James, who requires assessment and management of your facility after her discharge today. The sentence is okay, but it will be more academic if you can use following instead of after. So the sentence will be like this. I am writing to refer Mrs. Maria James, who requires assessment and management at your facility following her discharge today. Okay. So the last sentence is, on subsequent days her condition worsened with the increase in breathing difficulty, oliguria, pitting edema and malaria. So here, on subsequent days her condition worsened, not with, evidenced by. With is a wrong usage there. Evidenced by increasing breathing difficulty, evidenced by increasing breathing difficulty, oliguria, pitting edema and malaria. So I will read the sentence again. On subsequent days her condition worsened, evidenced by increasing breathing difficulty, oliguria, pitting edema and malaria. So friends, that's about today's video. Hope this video will be helpful to you, and if you have any doubts, kindly ask me in the comment section. If you need the material, send a message to my Telegram, and I wish you a very, very, very happy day, good day, and all the best for your exams. Bye. See you.